It's exactly 2 minutes past 1 p.m. here in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, and you are just in time for The Ambassador, where we debunk global diplomacy and geopolitics. I am your ambassador, Susan Nganga, to our first story. The Ugandan parliament has today approved an amendment bill that seeks and permits the military tribunal to try civilians, abolishing the once dismissing an earlier verdict that banned the military court from trying civilians. This is seen as a crucial step towards what will happen in 2026 in Uganda's election. Here's more on that story by Davis Karani.
Uganda's opposition leader in the National Assembly, Joel Senyonyi, before marching out of the house in rebel against the new law that will facilitate trial of civilians in the military courts, and the announcement by the government chief whip, Hamason Obua, which stated that the ruling NRM MPs, who are the majority in the parliament, will pass the bill as it is.
The government chief whip, who said something very interesting, political or otherwise, he represents government. And one of these bills, the most controversial one, was a government bill, the UPDF amendment bill. He said, for us, we have decided that this bill is going to be passed in its form, in its shape, as it is. So, government, why did you then bring that bill to parliament? If you wanted to pass it, why did you not just decree, like Idi Amin Dada used to do?
The leader of the opposition revealed that his political party, the National Unity Platform, also abbreviated as NUP, received an invitation from the committee in short notice, which made it impossible for the party to appear and present its views on an over 150-page bill.
That's problematic, right, Honorable Speaker, because you see, we are supposed to be a people-centered parliament, meaning that the laws we pass, which should be for the good of the people, those people should be consulted so that they have their input. And by the way, you can end up disregarding the input of those stakeholders, but listen to them.
The move to pass the bill comes in just a few months to Uganda's general elections, and at the same time, Tanzania pushing its opposition leader to the corridors of jail.
Nchi iliyobaki haijaharibika. Watu wako na usalama na amani na utulivu ni hapa kwetu. Kuna majaribio kadhaa. Niwaombe sana vyombo vya ulinzi na usalama na nyinyi wasimamizi wa sera zetu nje kutoa nafasi. Nimeona klipu kadhaa za kunisema niko bias na nini. Nalofanya ni kulinda nchi yangu na ndio wajibu niliopewa.
Does this mean that there is a likelihood of the rise of the dictatorial system of government in the East African region? Time will tell. Davis Karani for GBS Ambassador News, Nairobi.
Well, only time will tell. Moving on to Sudan. The Sudanese army says it's now in complete control of the Khartoum state after clearing it of the paramilitary rapid support forces. The announcement comes nearly 2 months after the military captured the capital. Sudan's army and the RSF have been fighting for control for more than 2 years. The conflict has killed tens of thousands. Aid agencies say the country is facing the world's worst humanitarian crisis. Shifting the focus to the royal family, the king is expected to visit the Canada House in London to mark 100 years since it opened in 1925. The visit comes ahead of the King and Queen's trip to Ottawa in Canada later this month.
The royal family is in Canada. This will be a maiden trip to Canada since King Charles was enthroned. Canadian High Commissioner Ralph Goodall received the royal family and presented the king with the key to the Canadian Parliament, marking 100 years since its opening. Here, King Charles is expected to give a historic address to the House. The High Commissioner took the king to the Grand Building, taking him through the giant map of Canada, outlining the country's vast territory. The late Queen Elizabeth II was the last British monarch to visit Canada in October 18, 1977.
I have always been full of admiration for what Canada is.
The King's visit to Canada was postponed last year since he was diagnosed with cancer. The two-day visit is symbolic to Canada as it illustrates Canada's place in the Commonwealth.
On this historic occasion. Bon voyage, au Canada.
Victor Udin, the ambassador.
That will usher in to our very first break. We'll be right back.
Trick or treat. In this class, we're going to make ta-da! A Halloween pumpkin basket. I hope it was fun and interesting for you to learn.
Hello, my name is Nyabio. I'm from Mahanim. Call this school a good school because the second my mom saw it, she saw it was Christian-based. And when I see Christian-based, that's what the character my mother wants from me. And I like the sports that we play for PE. Like sometimes we play table tennis, we can play football, we match, and on Fridays we have games. And we verse the teachers in football. And this is why I think the school is the best school your children can go to.
Topic of discussion, Leo, is a hustle culture. Hustle culture, and this is working smart versus working hard.
Working hard is where nina hustle. I'm working like a donkey.
Unaweza pata maybe ulisoma, yes, maybe kumaliza shule, maybe hii inahitaji maybe diploma, maybe ulifika certificate level. So I feel pia knowledge inachangia sana.
Yes,
watu kukua kwa informal.
You have to like plan. You also have to delegate, and it's also sometimes about convenience. What is convenience for you?
Tunaweza work smart, hata kama ni kwa informal jobs, tuki-apply hiyo working smart, we can do something. Si lazima tu ikuwe ni kazi ile uko chini.
I'm picking a dare. What? Call your mom or dad and sing the chorus of their favorite song loudly. Mama Vanessa,
just a sing.
We are live on TV. I need to.
Which TV?
GBS TV. I'm on the Youth Hub and they want me to sing you a song. I've been dared to sing your favorite song. So
no, don't sing that one, man.
No.
Sing yours.
No, I will sing a nice one. I know many of your songs.
I am singing. That is song.
I sing Daddy's song, fine.
Loudly, read,
I love you.
shout.
You're my baby. I love you. You're the best. Bye, mommy. Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I go.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back to the bulletin. Now, in the United States, President Donald Trump has announced the launch of a sweeping new missile defense initiative dubbed the Golden Dome, promising to shield the United States from foreign nuclear threats through an advanced satellite-based system. The project, which draws inspiration from Israel's Iron Dome, will feature a vast network of satellites designed to detect, track, and potentially intercept incoming ballistic and hypersonic missiles before they reach the American soil. According to Trump, the defense shield will be, and I quote, the most powerful and advanced missile protection system in the world, and will be fully operational by the end of his current term in 2029.
I promised the American people that I would build a cutting-edge missile defense shield to protect our homeland from the threat of foreign missile attack. And that's what we're doing. Today I'm pleased to announce that we have officially selected an architecture for this state-of-the-art system that will deploy next-generation technologies across the land, sea, and space, including space-based sensors and interceptors. And Canada has called us and they want to be a part of it. So we'll be talking to them. They want to have protection also. So as usual, we help Canada.
Israeli forces killed at least 55 Palestinians in airstrike in Gaza on Tuesday, continuing to bombard the enclave despite mounting international pressure to halt military operation and allow impending deliveries of aid. Britain announced it was suspending trade talks with Israel and summoning its ambassador over egregious policies in the occupied West Bank and Gaza, while European Union Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas asked for a review of the EU-Israel trade deal. Our reporter Paul Amaina has more. In Gaza City, the grief is unrelenting. Palestinians prepare to bury the dead, victims of an Israeli airstrike that hit a school, sheltering displaced families. Despite mounting international pressure, Israeli airstrikes, by late Tuesday morning, the death toll had reached 50 and was still climbing.
We cannot allow the people of Gaza to starve.
In London, Paris, and Ottawa, leaders warned of consequences. Britain, France, and Canada issued a rare joint statement threatening concrete action.
Prime Minister Netanyahu, end this blockade now and let the aid in. Regrettably, Madam Deputy Speaker, despite our efforts, this Israeli government's egregious actions and rhetoric have continued. They are isolating Israel from its friends and partners around the world, undermining the interests of the Israeli people, and damaging the image of the State of Israel in the eyes of the world.
Threatening concrete action against Israel unless it halts military operation and lifts aid restrictions that have pushed Gaza to the brink of famine. Britain's Foreign Minister David Lammy announced a suspension of trade negotiations with Israel. The Israeli ambassador was summoned. Meanwhile, the humanitarian toll continues to grow.
And these are commodities.
In just over a week, Israeli military has killed more than 500 people, bringing the total number of Palestinians dead to 53,000. On Monday, after a 2-month total blockade, Israel allowed just 9 aid trucks into Gaza. But Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu remains defiant. He described the war as a
Manchester United have the chance to salvage something from a historical bad league campaign today in the Europa League final in Bilbao. United have endured one of their worst ever league campaigns, sitting 16th in the Premier League with 17 defeats. But in Europe, it's been a different story. Unbeaten throughout the tournament, they stormed into the Europa League final with a dominant 7-1 aggregate win over Athletic Bilbao. Defender Harry Maguire, who is back in form under manager Ruben Amorim, says the team is ready to fight ahead of the final.
Yeah, of course, it's a big game, but for us, we know it's such a big game for everyone, the fans, after such a disappointing season, the club. But we go into it and take it like a normal game, like we did in the semi-final against Bilbao. We prepare well every day, and when you get on that pitch, you give absolute everything, and that's only what you can do. The result will look after itself. We've got to really look after the performance. Listen, finals are finals. You know, they can change on moments or anything. You need that little bit of luck, maybe. We could perform really well on the day and get beat, or we could perform badly and win. But for sure, we've got to make sure that we put the percentages in our favour in terms of turning up, giving absolute everything and performing on the day.
Tottenham Hotspur stand in their way, also trophyless this season, but determined. On his part, Tottenham Hotspur captain Son Min-heung is eyeing his first major European title with just 1 year left on his contract.
We can change all the bad season in the league with that trophy, and then Spurs are just missing the trophy. Some season we've been outstanding. We've been in the Champions League. We've been in the finishing in the second, but still we were missing something. But this year we can change that. So as a tomorrow goes, I hope we can change that thing tomorrow.
It's all or nothing in Bilbao as two giants clash for glory and redemption. Victory for either team will not only salvage pride, but also secure Champions League football next season. Elvin Muyodi, GBS Sports.
A fun fact that my producer has just reminded me. Today, the 21st of May, is marked as the International Tea Day. And a fun fact, tea is the most commonly used drink. So how do you say tea in your own language? With that, we conclude our bulletin here at The Ambassador. Thank you for joining us as we uncover the latest developments. We'll continue to bring you updates on these stories and more as they develop. This is The Ambassador, where we debunk global diplomacy and geopolitics. I have been your ambassador, Susan Nganga. Have a good afternoon.